Regeneration.
Yeah,
Regeneration was good.
Degeneration.
The ones with Leon and Ada were good.
Yeah,
that's because you love Ada.
And I love Leon.
Yeah, you love Ada. Like,
I love Leon.
I love Leon and Ada.
You know, so I don't think there's been any terrible Resident Evil CGI movies. I think there have been some terrible Resident Evil movies.
Wow.
But, you know, and even then, I give those a pass because I didn't expect. Listen, I didn't like the first one, but I love the second one. I thought the first one was all right, but I love the second
one with Nemesis, right?
Yeah, because I think the first one we were expecting like more of like a Dawn of the Dead thing. Like they were in the mansion, they'd run into zombies, and you know, I thought it was okay. I just didn't like the fact that like everybody would like, what's her name? She got bit like 7 times before she turned. She's in the Fast and the Furious movie.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle, like how many times is this woman gonna get bit before she dies? Like, and I just think
she came back though.
And she had no herbs with her.
Yeah, exactly.
The last Resident Evil I saw was
she came back as a clone.
Yeah, the one there in the ice and the light skinned black dude he died.
He finally dies.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw.
You're talking
I
about
wasn't crazy about
Boris Kodjoe.
Yeah,
which by the way, he's a fun dude to talk to when you're out there because we met him at a party. And he's a really fun dude to talk to when he's sitting at a party because he'll always tell you like he was like, yo, dude, I'm always hungry, and I hate these parties where they make you wait to eat. I mean, but he was a really cool dude. But the fact that at his first movie, what was it? It was Resident Evil 3. Like everybody thought he was dead. And he comes back at the end, and they're like, "Finally, the black guy does not die in the movie."
Yeah.
Like,
then he dies in the next one.
Yeah, like, but he went out like a G.
Yeah, because they killed Omar Epps and Ashanti.
But
oh my God, Ashanti! I forgot.
Remember
they
were
always threw like one random ass celebrity in that can't act.
Oh yeah. Well, that's horror for you.
Well, she's not lying though.
Rihanna.
I mean,
well, what movie are you talking about? Rihanna couldn't act in
Battleship.
Whatever movie she's in.
She said whatever.
Wow.
Beyonce, whatever movie she's in.
Busta Rhymes in Halloween
Vitamin
Resurrection.
C, whatever movie she's in. Who else? There was a bunch of them.
First of all, Busta Rhymes was the shit in Halloween.
I just
always do that.
I know this is supposed to be about Resident Evil. I just recently watched all of Halloween, and I see why Resurrection is so hated. Wow. Like I cannot watch that movie anymore. Like I mean, the funniest part, of course, is when Busta Rhymes and he's wearing Michael's mask. He's like, "Yo, you need to go your ass to the back and take care of business."
But that's what made it gold.
Yeah,
like,
but then but if you watch the first Halloween, second Halloween, I mean 3 and 4 and 5, and then you go to Resurrection, even H2O, and you just go, "Yo, what the fuck is this? A comedy now?"
So who was better? LL or Busta in the movie?
Yeah, all right. Acting wise, I'm gonna give it a Busta Rhymes because
really?
because LL was just like LL was stupid. Like he was just like always on the phone. Michael walking behind him, he can't. It was like the typical cliche security guard who can't see shit. Busta Rhymes, at least, I mean, I can watch it and be like, all right, he's the reason why I can keep watching this movie. Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, from a pure horror fan, it's just like, damn, this dude ruined the franchise.
Yeah. But I want to get to something Nadia said. Nadia, at least Beyonce was good in Austin Powers.
Oh yeah, Gold Member.
Because that was about up to her acting chops. Like she didn't have to be serious.
She was playing herself.
Yeah, she could be terrible in it. And I mean, she wasn't bad in like what was the remake of the '70s Diana Ross movie,
Dreamgirls.
She wasn't bad in that because it played to her strengths. She was just a singer.
I think I'm just like over people trying to get her to play Storm.
Please don't.
I'm with you.
Because I'm like, I'd rather a no-name, beautiful, dark-skinned girl that can act her ass off.
Well, you know, they want to put Janae Monáe in there, which I don't think is a bad choice for Storm.
She's not my first pick, but she's better than Beyonce.
Yeah, she's not bad because at least I can say, like, after watching Antebellum, she's not a bad actress. Like, she's really good at what she's doing, but it might be that she's just really good at those stories. Mm-hmm. But I can see her as Storm, and I can see her as a younger Storm. I mean, I don't think they tried to do anything and give anybody a different Storm by just using Halle Berry. Yeah. Halle Berry was always like, oh, no, we're going to... Even though I always said the best person I felt should have played Storm was Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. But, I mean, what are you going to get? And, I mean, what about the young girl that played Storm?
And prequels?
Yeah.
I didn't like the new X-Men movies.
I liked her. I liked the fact that she actually had the African accent because Halle had a horrible one in the first X-Men movie. Then that shit gone after the second one. I was like,
she Kofi'd it.
Aren't you from Africa? Word, right?
She Kofi'd it. That's not a bad thing. But before we move on to something, who do you think should play Storm? Nadia, if they do.
Oh man, I have to find that list. I had like a whole list.
Damn, she had a list.
She got the casting list and everything.
Oh no!
But I think everybody. I think that no matter who you pick, it's like the same thing. Who are we gonna get to play Wolverine after Hugh Jackman?
Like, well, it's not gonna be that hard.
It is because you
Jackman.
Because the thing is, you don't want. So I mean, for some reason, Hugh Jackman had the look. And I mean, he had the height, he had everything. I mean, even though he's a little taller,
way taller.
I mean, people pissed me off when they were like, "Oh, we wanted
a 5'5",
like Tom Cruise." I was like, I don't want to see Tom Cruise as Wolverine. I don't think he.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I got excited.
That's it. No, but go ahead because you found your list. That's why
I was gonna say. A couple of the girls were. She's already on. On Titans though. What's her name? Anna.
Oh yeah.
Anna Diop.
But I could kind of see that. Atide Badaki from American Gods.
Oh yes, yeah, true.
And this girl's really pretty. DeWanda Weiss from She's Gotta Have It.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
God, I hated that.
Some of those were on my list.
You hate which one? The original Spike Lee movie?
No,
or
the Netflix one.
I didn't think it was.
And Tika Sumpter.
Tika Sumpter from where?
She was in a bunch of movies, like when I was younger, and shows. Like she was a guest on Gossip Girl a few times.
Well, I never watched Gossip Girl.
Yeah, you gotta look her up.
Anna Jope actually would be perfect because she's from an African, I think she actually has like princess like royal blood in her.
Let's get a real royal.
Like in her lineage, I think she's like where she's from. She actually does have like African like royal lineage.
Yeah, I would like her.
But she getting that DC money.
Anybody but Beyonce.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind an actress that's not as famous or not as big. Like I hate when they just choose big names to bring people in when they're not cast properly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, whoever you're gonna pick, you're gonna have to pick. This would be a good time to pick it because if they're picking somebody, it's gonna be a new T'Challa. Because they're gonna go with the storyline of Storm and T'Challa being married.
Exactly.
And I kind of like that. So whoever you pick, I want to see somebody you're gonna pick.
Oh, that's jacked up. Isn't he supposed to be with Lupita?
Nah, son. That even in the comic book, that
I mean, they could have actually had her be Storm.
Yeah, she could have been Storm.
Just make her a mutant.
But that wouldn't make sense. But no, they ended that part of the storyline like early in his Black Panther lore. So. I mean, but because
she becomes a villain in the comics.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a point
out of jealousy.
Yeah, because there's a point where having her with Storm was like it was perfect because you had Storm is a goddess, he's a king in Africa, and it actually worked out. But having that going in, the only thing I do want them to do with Storm is they have to bring in a proper Gambit with it, like. I would love for them to do that storyline if they're gonna ever do X-Men over again with Marvel. I do want them to keep the X-Men Origins franchise where they actually do the Shadow King story with Storm and Gambit, and that's how Storm and Gambit met. And
I did like the actor for Gambit though. It was just the Wolverine movie was terrible.
Nah, well they went and got what's his name? Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing. Yeah. Didn't
they
shoot
that's been
that?
in talks for like 10 years.
Yeah, but then he stopped. Like you can get anybody. I mean, the Gambit fan made flick that I put up wasn't bad. He wasn't bad in it. He was pretty good, and that was nice. But once you put Gambit in there, you're gonna have to find a proper rogue. I'm pretty sure Anna Paquin does not want to do this anymore.
Nah, don't use her, please.
Yeah, just find someone like recast the whole X-Men at this point.
Well, I think that's what they plan to do. But I mean, look, we can wax that all day.
Yeah,
we gotta have to move on to the next.
Let's go to the next segment, which is just quick recommendations of either what you're watching, a show that you're watching that caught your interest, something that you're reading, comic, manga, whatever, or what are you playing right now? So,
and we'll give a review on that later.
We'll give it a review that later. I will go first. I am just playing. I'm been doing the Chronicle. I've been playing the Resident Evil series in chronological order, story wise. So I just finished beating Code Veronica, so now I'm on Resident Evil 4. And I forgot how annoying Ashley is. So
That's your fault for going back.
That's my favorite game, though.
Yeah, like, that's your fault. I played for it, and the dude that sells you everything pisses me off every time.
Oh no, I love that dude.
I love
Stranger.
him. Hello, stranger.
Yeah, I mean, I had a cheat code where I had enough money to buy everything for him, and he still used to piss me off.
Come on. But it's a classic.
Jarrell?
I was streaming Batman Arkham Knight on my YouTube channel, and then I took a break because that car is getting on my damn nerves. Like, I hate the car, and they put me in a situation where in order for me to get to the next level, I need the car. And if you go on my YouTube channel and watch the last video, I'm literally screaming at the television for the last 15 minutes about how much I hate that car. So, but one thing I did watch on HBO Max, I watched remember when they did the movie, they had brought out Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar to do that animated. They did the voiceovers for the it was
it Batman Two-Face one? Or
yeah,
or the Return of the Cape Crusader one?
No, Batman Two-Face. I actually watched that for the first time last night, and I didn't know that was the last one he did before he passed away. But that was actually really good. Like, it gave me old Adam West vibes. Like, you know, he was doing the whole corny dialogue and the holy, you know, like the holy moly Batman, and then at the end, like for the entire credits, they play the it plays for like the entire it's like 10 minutes of that song. And I was like, yo, this is awesome. And then they gave him like a little, you know, in memory of Adam West, you know, he's always gonna be our Batman. And it's like an hour, I think like an hour and like 10 minutes. Yeah. But if you're just having a night where you got your order and takeout and you just want something cool and like nostalgic and like funny, like I would recommend watching that.
That's true. Nadia, what are you checking out?
Well, video game wise, I'm still playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh wow.
Yo, the game is fire.
And I'm playing it in Japanese because I like legit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to hear it, to feel it.
You like the
it
authenticity?
Sounds more real.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game is absolutely stunning. And I was gonna say though, like, we forgot to talk about one of the big topics, the Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh.
So I was one of the nutcases that pre-ordered.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not gonna eat out for the next year.
Oh wow!
But I'm hype as hell for like Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed and the new RE.
Oh, RE8 is gonna be glorious.
Yeah, bananas. That's what I'm looking forward to. But right now I'm just replaying old horror games and playing Tsushima.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the one thing I will tell everybody, and I'll give a review on it on ONG, and I will say is everybody needs to check out Utopia, because I didn't know what it was, and I kept seeing advertisement for it. So I was working from home, and I got, you know, the computers went down. So I decided to just pop it in just to kill a little bit of time. And I had to sit back and like, damn, this, you know, like, don't get me wrong, the first 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, you're just like, this is interesting, and then after that, it just takes off. And it was one of those surprise hits that I'm just going to tell everybody before I give my review. Just go check it out. You have to watch. Like,
that's Zendaya's show, right?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on. No, she's not. Is she in it? No, she's not in it.
Oh, I'm thinking of something.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you think of Euphoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's okay. No, Utopia is really, really. It's on Amazon Prime. It's really crazy. Like, the premise of the story is that a comic book has been predicting all the disasters of the world, and the first comic was called Dystopia, and nobody knew what happened. They thought that was it, and then a young couple finds the sequel, Utopia. And it's just crazy, the conspiracies and everything that goes on into it. Is when you watch it, I will say John Cusack, he played his ass off in this, and you have to watch it. But I'll give a review of that. I'm just saying that everybody, if you get a chance, please check out.
The creator is the writer of Gone Girl.
Yeah, he did.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, he really put his foot in this one.
The only recommendation I'll always give people, especially like people of color who complain that we don't get stuff, whenever someone says that to me, my first question is, do you watch Black Lightning? And if your answer is no, then we ain't got nothing to talk about.
That's you.
So we gotta listen. I'll always plug Black Lightning.
Most people start watching Black Lightning after they kill somebody's mama on TV.
Hey, like that was an iconic moment.
Yeah,
because even that, like the villain walked in and he was like, "Bro, you shot somebody's mama." Like when the villain is like, "Bro."
That's true. But
in time for the
well, wait. She wanted to talk about the PlayStation.
the fiasco.
Yeah, that's 2 minutes.
That's what we're calling it.
That was Walmart's fault.
I mean,
It wasn't just Walmart. Amazon's fault. Everybody.
No, but Walmart started it first. It was supposed to happen on, I believe, Wednesday
next day,
was the
Wednesday was the
PlayStation
reveal.
showcase. Thursday was the release, but Walmart started literally right after the showcase.
Yeah,
So everyone followed.
well, for me, I don't buy systems until a year later anyway to get those bugs and kinks out.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm
probably
not in
around my
trouble.
birthday. Probably around April.
I'm gonna get it next.
I wait until it either gets smaller or until the next Street Fighter game comes out.
Yeah, because I'm like backlogged on my PS4 anyway, so I got tons of games to.
And I mean, like most systems, they don't stop making games for it until like at least 2 years after the new system is out.
And besides, Miles Morales is coming for the PS4 too. So
and
which
Gotham
pissed
Knight-
a lot of people off.
yeah.
So it's Gotham Knights.
Oh, speaking of that, did y'all see since we're going to be on a type of Spider-Man soon anyway, did y'all see the new face that they did for
Oh,
the
Peter,
PS?
he looks 10 years younger.
What the hell was that?
I didn't
How do
get
you
to see it.
he went from Andrew Garfield to Tom Holland.
Yeah, it was horrible. It looks horrible. Like he looks like Miles should be babysitting him.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that bad? Wow.
He
I gotta
looks-
check it
Yeah,
out.
you got to look up the picture. He looks 10 years younger.
Looks super young.
And what's this for?
It's
They,
for the
new
Miles
Spidey.
Morales version.
no, they remastered Spider-Man, the Marvel Spider-Man, the PS4 for the PS5. So
Yeah.
they decided to refilm and get another actor. And now I guess I'm not. This is just my conspiracy theory. I think maybe Kevin Feige or Disney came to him like, can y'all make him look a little bit more like Tom Holland since he is our Spider-Man? So
That's interesting.
That's stupid because the first game was crazy. Everybody loved it. So why would you
Yeah,
fuck
it's
it up?
amazing.
and that's why I'm like, why would you? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But they technically said, oh well, the actor, he didn't really emulate facial expressions that well, so we wanted to recast it, really capture those heartbreaking moments. Like, but he looks so young. He looks like the first one looked like he was in like graduated from college. This one looks like he's going to college.
Yep.
So I'm gonna just stick. I just hope they don't update the PS4 version with the new face. So
Well, the thing is, technically, they would be correct with that because if they're doing Miles Morales came from the Ultimate Universe. So if you think about it, the Peter Parker from the Ultimate Universe was still in high school when he was Spider-Man, and he was really young. So if they're keeping in that sense, okay. But if you already made the game, don't fuck that up. Just keep it moving, right?
trash. But it's time for the main event, which is our Justin versus Sean segment. And today's little debate where me and Sean have different opinions is who is the best Spider-Man, and everybody will chime in on the second one. What is the best Spider-Man movie to you? So let me just give you a quick breakdown first of some of the because I know some people are gonna be like, oh, this voice actor. No, we're excluding voice actors. This has to be live action movie release, and no, we are not including the TV. And Japanese Spider-Man is definitely ruled out. Okay, so I just want to get that out the way.
That's fucked up because I love the trash TV Spider-Man, the one from the 80s.
Because otherwise, I would have chose Japanese Spider-Man. That's why. But
that's terrible. But what I was gonna say is like we'll get Nadia and Jarrell's opinion about their Spider-Man. But I'll let you go first since you want to talk about your favorite Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire, and I guess maybe people are thinking because of his probably, and I'm attesting this probably mostly due to nostalgia, and I just recently watched Spider-Man 1 and 2. I think they made a third one. I can't remember if they did.
Wow. They made a third one. You know they made that fucking that piece of trash.
It
you know
doesn't
they
count.
made
It doesn't count.
That one doesn't exist
Pretend.
in my universe. So,
it exists.
and the reason why I chose Toby is, I looked at Andrew's performances. Andrew's performance was more, he was more good as Spider-Man, but not Peter, in my opinion. Yeah. I think Toby had more of the classic 60s '70s type of Peter Parker down, because I mean that's what Sam Raimi was going for. He was going for the comics that he grew up with, and I like Toby's performance, especially in Spider-Man 2 when they did the Spider-Man No More arc. I think that one because with him, unlike the other ones, you actually see consequences of his decisions. And I think that's what really Spider-Man is really all about, is his choices. You know, he had so much weight in his performances. And story-wise, he had so much weight compared to Tom Holland. You look at Homecoming, you look at, Far From Home. There's no real consequences for him. Everything is kind of solved.
Well, that's because his aunt knows his identity now. So
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, with Toby, there was always this stigma of I'm Spider-Man. Like, to give you an example, look at Spider-Man 2 when he tells Aunt May he's responsible for Uncle Ben's death. That is one of the best scenes in the movie, where you see that since the first movie he's been carrying this guilt of I could have saved my uncle. And of course, a big factor of this is Uncle Ben means something in Toby's Spider-Man. Okay? It's not Iron Man being surrogate father. It's so, I mean,
well, see, I think you're just getting on it because of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. You know,
I mean, performance-wise, Tom Holland, he's good. I'm not saying he's not bad. He's not saying he's terrible. But I mean, I would guess I have to say it's Toby, mainly due to the writing and the fact that they actually has a little bit more consequences and weight. While Tom Holland, like you said, I mean, he has to. I think his movies, they haven't really focused more on the Spider-Man, but more of world building, the Spider-Man in the world of the Avengers instead of who Spider-Man is. But you can go, Sean.
Okay. So my favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. And the reason why, I mean, you wouldn't think.
I thought it was Tom Holland.
No, Tom Holland wouldn't be, because he's more of the ultimate Spider-Man. And you're right. They did stay away from doing the Uncle Ben story again. And I don't blame them, because you need to stay away from it. We get it. It's kind of like doing Batman. How many times are you going to revamp Batman and have his parents killed? Like, you know, there's got to be a line of actors like, hey, this week I get to get shot as Bruce and Martha Wayne. Like, you know, so Thomas and Martha Wayne, sorry. So the reason why I like Garfield better than, the reason why I like the whole Garfield Spider-Man universe better than Tobey's, and it's not because of Spider-Man 3. I kind of let that one go. That's your fuck up. You know? And that's because Sam Raimi doesn't like the Venom saga, and again, that's his fuck up. You could have made that something really good instead of really trash. But the reason why I did love Garfield is, one, they kept to what Spider-Man's story was. He didn't have web shooting out of his ass like this one, where the web sling is made by his body. No, I didn't need that. He was an excellent scientist, you know, as a young kid. He was awkward. He kind of fit the bill with that. I do like, who was playing Aunt May in that one?
Sally Field.
Okay, Sally Field being his Aunt May. I did like the Uncle Ben aspect of that, because when he turns around, he kind of looks like, well, I was a selfish kid at this point. Like, I didn't think, like, I'm pissed. Like, they took it as not like, okay, in the Tobey Maguire one, Uncle Ben was still beloved, but it was the promoter that pissed him off. In this one, it was like Uncle Ben was trying to be a father figure that he needed to be, and he didn't. And then Uncle Ben was like, well, I'm trying to make you do your life. Well, I don't need you to do my life. And then he gets killed because he's acting like a child and not thinking about the lessons that Uncle Ben is trying to teach him. So I do like that. And I love the Andrew Garfield, because it stuck to the Gwen Stacy story of his love life and not just MJ immediately. So, you know, you got to understand why Gwen Stacy, even in the comic books, was his, like, real first love. Like, you see it, you go through it with her father dying, when her father tells him, you know, whatever you do, leave Gwen out of this. Like, I'm going to die, but I know what you're doing with your life. Leave her out of this. And the first villain was the Lizard, which was really good. And also the Andrew Garfield one did the Spider-Man No More thing, because when Gwen dies, he decides, I'm hanging this up. You know, I'm not doing this anymore. Like the woman I love. And then I love the last scene where they're showing him going through the seasons, just standing at her grave, waiting. Like, you know, like, I can't believe I broke the promise to your father. I broke the promise to you. Your death was my fault. It wasn't even that, oh, you know, Electro and the Green Goblin killed. I grabbed you at the last minute, and she literally snaps her neck and hits her head, like while he grabs her, and then he has to live with that. And then finally, it's Aunt May that tells him, like, you know, no matter what happens, the world still needs Spider-Man. And then that great scene at the end where the little kid tries to emulate him, and then he shows up, and he's back to who he is, making jokes and doing whatever. So, and he was a little bit dark in the first one, because remember when he gets the criminal, and instead of arresting him like Spider-Man would do, webs up his face so he can't breathe, and then he's looking at him like sideways, like seeing like, I have the power to kill you.
But he was a douche.
But I mean, he wasn't so much a douche, but I felt like he was coming into his own with that movie. Not to say Tobey didn't do a decent job. I think the only reason this is kind of bad is because it's the eras of when it was brought out. You had Tobey Maguire's came out when we needed Spider-Man to be a hit, and then this one, they rebooted it, and they did a really good job. The first one and part of the second one.
See, but it sounds like you more so like the writing and the story, not so much the person.
Well, I think Garfield did a great job as the nerdy Peter, Peter going through his teenage angst, Peter just being Spider-Man himself. He does a great job being Spider-Man. And I will say the CGI was better. Like one of the scenes when Spider-Man is crawling around the lizard, when he's webbing him up, that was a great scene. I don't think they could have done that back in Tobey's thing because they didn't have the technology for it. But I do like the fact of Garfield Spider-Man better. Reason why I'm not in the Holland Spider-Man, because I'm not saying he's bad. I do like him. He's the Avengers Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think we all agreed on that one.
Yeah, he's not Spider-Man standalone movie. Like, I would rather see Garfield in a Venom movie than I would rather see Holland in it. Even though we're going to get Holland, and I think he's going to knock it out the box, I will be excited to see a live action Into the Spider-Verse. But
which might be part 3 now because they just cast Jamie Foxx as Electro again.
Yeah. But I would have to say Garfield is going to be my favorite Spider-Man. I think I got, like, from watching it from the first one. And even though the second one wasn't great, I'm going to say it's just like the first Tobey. Like, Tobey's first one, second one, great with Doc Ock. But Garfield has to take it from me hands down. Height, look, mannerisms, what do you call it? The fact that it's Gwen Stacy and not MJ, that's what did it for me. You know, Gerard, you look like you got a lot you about to pull out.
No, not at all. No, but like I said, it does just sound like you like the story more than Garfield. You know?
No, I like Garfield, but it's just that I think if you were to take Tobey Maguire and put him in that story, it wouldn't have worked.
I think it would have, because I think Tobey has the versatility as an actor to actually pull out the performances. Like I said, he does dramatic well. I would say Tobey's weakness was probably
his facial expressions pissed me off.
I mean, I was about to get to that. Like Spider-Man 3. That's why I didn't mention it. I'm surprised he didn't brought it up because that would have killed my argument in general. Spider-Man 3 is the worst Spider-Man movie to me ever made.
If I brought up
I think it's like a curse of like the trilogies.
Yeah, like if I brought up Spider-Man 3, it would have just been unfair because it was Spider-Man 3 was so trash it's the same thing what they said about the presidential debate. It was a shit show inside a dumpster fire inside a train wreck. like that's how bad it was. Like, like what?
But for me, like what Tobey did, and like I said, a lot of it is nostalgia. But after rewatching it, and I did rewatch Andrew's too, just to compare, like from just not from an acting standpoint, Andrew had better. I would say when it comes to certain scenes in Spider-Man, he had more better comedic delivery. Like comedic timing with his quip. Tobey, they didn't write him as much quip as the previous especially like Tom Holland. But I mean, Doc Ock, when they're fighting in the bank and he's like, "Here's your change," like everybody forgets that. It's like, oh, he's not a funny spy. I'm like, he has his things. But when you brought up for the Uncle Ben thing, Toby was upset because Uncle Ben was upset because he missed painting the house because he was trying to impress Mary Jane, and it's kind of a cut and paste. Copy and paste because Andrew Garfield was mad at the same situation. Uncle Ben was trying to say, "Hey, I'm not trying to rule you, but with great power comes great responsibility," and that is another reason why that theme, as always, has been heavy in Spider-Man. Of course, you don't really see that much in Garfield's until part 2. We really see that with great power comes with great responsibility. You don't see that at all at Holland, but. I think Toby
because they don't say that.
Yeah, that's but why. I think Toby really kind of embodied that all the thematic themes that Spider-Man is supposed to be.
Well, they kind of turned the responsibility around for Garfield because his responsibility was to stay away from Gwen. He did pretty much. His responsibility was to be a hero, but like they kind of like gave him Uncle Ben, and then they gave him Gwen Stacy's dad as a mentor to say,